Entire unit got wiped out of the Zionist forces. I'll share with you the live videos and footage so that you know what is happening in Jabalia refugee camp between the resistance forces and IDF, the Israeli forces. Before I move on, just to remind you, most of my viewers are not subscribed. If you happen to be one of them, consider subscribing. Let's take a look at these photos. This one, as you can see, tanks. These are Israeli Markava tanks, and they are the most important military asset when it comes to ground operation for the Zionist forces. Nevertheless, these are the same tanks that are coming under constant attack by the resistance forces. They have lost so many of them that Israeli forces, they have decided that they need to hire or outsource foreign entities, foreign companies to repair these tanks because of huge number of damages and losses. They are now literally without these tanks in their arsenal, too many of them. Not that they have run out completely, but that's where they're heading to. They will be depleted. And on top of all of this, we have another report that suggests that United States, they're not going to be providing Israel some military equipments the way they did in the past. Especially, I believe, under Donald Trump, that would not be possible. Trump will definitely have some restriction on this military equipments. Now, let's move on to the next photo here. This is a tank, Markava tank. So this is a image right from the battlefield. What you are seeing in this picture, you may not understand at all. This is actually a damaged or destroyed, I should not say damaged, but destroyed Markava tank in Jabalia refugee camp when the resistance forces, they have launched an attack. Now, this is not the only tank that came under attack and got destroyed. There are several others. But these tanks, they cost whopping millions of dollars for the entire fleet. And to be operational, they have to, on top of this, add manpower, a lot of other stuff that goes with its operation on a day-to-day basis, especially in Gaza, northern Gaza. And they have to be guarded, quite frankly. These tanks must be guarded because these are the tanks that the resistance forces are targeting every single day with Yasin shell that I have mentioned to you again in my past videos. Now, what happened is this. After these tanks came under attack, one of the resistance forces, he came out with his rocket propelled grenade, something like this. Obviously, this is a much higher quality, but this is what a rocket propelled grenade looks like. So after that tank was destroyed, the one I just showed you, another resistance force member came out with this rocket propelled grenade, and he shot at another tank, and that tank is this one. And he was able to successfully destroy this one by just that one shot with that grenade. And lo and behold, the Zionist forces, they have lost one more of their military, very important military asset, and that is the Markava tank. Where are all of these things happening? It is happening in Jabalia refugee camp. This is Jabalia refugee camp. Obviously, you do not see the death and destruction in this photo. I did not show you the actual image of Jabalia refugee camp simply because YouTube is going to be censoring me, and they might even demonetize my video simply because of those images from Jabalia refugee camp. What you are seeing right now is just a picture where you see people are setting up tents, or they have set up some tents. They're living under this harsh condition in winter season, and we have seen how babies are freezing to death. So nevertheless, this should give you some idea about the situation of the Jabalia refugee camp. But regardless how we want to paint the picture, we'll never be able to get to the real image, because the real picture, the real situation on the ground for the Jabalia refugees is more or beyond horrible. Now, I said in the beginning of the video on the title, I said run, run, run. What do I mean by that? I mean exactly that. The Kafir Brigade from Jabalia refugee camp, according to one report, they are now withdrawing from northern Gaza. This is a good news, but it came after they have slaughtered so many of people, innocent children and women. Now they have decided to withdraw from Jabalia refugee camp, the Kafir Brigade, not the entire fleet, not the entire battalions, but the Kafir Brigade alone. They have decided we're not going to operate in Gaza anymore, and the reason for that is simple. Take a look at this next image. The reason is because of the losses that the Zionist forces they're seeing on a regular basis. These 3 Israeli terrorists, they were eliminated last week in and around northern Gaza, and they are all from Kafir Brigade. And this is why, and this is a Shimshon battalion. I have shared this photo with you in my previous video, and this is why perhaps they have decided we are not going to be staying in Jabalia refugee camp in and around that area or in northern Gaza, because we are taking too many losses. That could be a reason why they're now leaving this place. These attacks are also coming, guys, after we have shown you pictures just yesterday of these 3. One of them is an officer, IDF officer, and 2 of them are soldiers. They also were eliminated. So if you add all of this to the tally, you will see how many they have lost in just a matter of last few days. Nevertheless, what you also see is complete lie about these numbers from IDF. They would never ever admit that they are losing military personnel, those soldiers, those terrorists, on a regular basis. The Merkava tank is always on target for the resistance forces. They have destroyed last week not just one Merkava but many of them, and on top of that, when they were targeting one Merkava tank, they were able to eliminate 3 of its operators or soldiers, Israeli Zionist forces, as is marked here with the red dots on the screen. Therefore, you can easily see the losses that they're going through at the moment. We have also reported how this military jeep was attacked and got destroyed, and this was carrying Israeli Zionist forces. And then you also have another troop carrier that also got destroyed in Gaza. Add them up and you will see nothing but nightmare for the Zionist forces. And this is why perhaps now we have a statement from the head of Israel, I mean not head, but from US government, Donald Trump. He is basically now saying that we need to end this war, we need to get the hostages out, and he last night said all hell will break out if we do not get the hostages. Why so rush? Well, it is because they cannot afford to supply the Zionist forces with any more weapon, no more. I mean, there is a limitation, and according to a lot of analysts, United States itself is being depleted of its military arsenal because of their supply to weapon, not only to Israel but also to Ukraine. In other words, they're going through a huge crisis and they're not seeing any success. What they're seeing is more death. Take a look at this guy. As I have reported, his name is Captain Amit Levy. He's from the IDF reservist, and he also got killed in Gaza Strip, and I showed you his picture the other day as well. And then you also have these 3. Now today, as I'm reporting to you guys, they have lost not just military personnel this time, but also tanks, Merkava tanks that are so important for them. Therefore, it is becoming a huge problem, a nightmarish situation for the Zionist forces. They're now running, and if they could bring Donald Trump today to call for a ceasefire or to reach to some kind of honorable negotiation, they would do so, because they are sick and tired fighting this battle that they are not going to win, and they know it. This time they have lost an entire unit. What will happen tomorrow? It is just going to continue on, and if this is how it continues on for the IDF forces, they will hit the dead end where they will be coming out and saying that no more fighting, we are calling it a day, let's make peace deal and never fight. or some other options to end this war of huge loss, total defeat for the Zionist forces. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for your comments. Have a wonderful day.